The federal government has appointed former federal Liberal MP Bruce Baird to oversee a review of Australia's international education system. Education Minister Julia Gillard says there's an urgent need to crack down on shonky private vocational colleges, and she wants the review to consider ways of improving regulation. This program first reported on rogue operators of private colleges back in 2007. But the issue has been brought to a head recently by Indian student demonstrations against alleged racist violence in Melbourne and by further allegations of student rip-offs and immigration scams on the Four Corners program. Peter McCutcheon reports.
These Brisbane-based Indian students are deeply worried, not about their personal safety, but about the quality of their education. Queensland and federal government officials have come to hear their complaints about Australia's private vocational training colleges.
I think these colleges are running for not education, they're running for money. That's a business.
I came here with the idea that I'm getting an international education at an international country, a Certificate 3 after paying $12,000. So it would be like, whoa. But it was wow, in a different way.
Protests in Melbourne earlier this year over allegedly racist violence against Indian students may have taken many Australians by surprise. But across the country, many Indian students have long been complaining about the stresses of an education system that has failed to deliver on its promises.
Well, I'm obviously very concerned, and there is a problem here.
Hundreds of private colleges offering courses such as hairdressing, cooking and accounting have sprung up across Australia over the past 4 years. This $15 billion industry is a direct result of a federal government move to tackle Australia's skills shortage by allowing overseas students to stay here once they've completed their studies.
Make no mistake, the driver for this explosion in vocational college enrolments of the past few years has been the carrot of permanent residence or getting into the Australian labour market.
Why are you studying here?
I want to get permanent residency.
2 years ago, the 730 report revealed growing concerns about immigration scams and unscrupulous operators, more interested in providing an easy path to permanent residency, or PR as it's often referred to, rather than quality education.
Many students were told, just take some holidays, don't come to the school, it's okay, you'll be marked as being present, and that's obvious because there were no teachers.
Since then, these concerns have escalated. Last year, the New South Wales government took action against the Oztech Cooking School, which had enrolled more than 1,500 students but had facilities for less than 200. And in June, federal authorities ordered the Brisbane-based Metro College of Technology to halt enrolments until it put in place a system to record whether students are actually attending classes.
I grew up in the system. I've taught in TAFE, so I know what standards are. But it's when I got into the private colleges that I started to find that it was becoming a lot of a PR factory.
Former vocational college employee Pam Gillespie is supporting Brisbane-based international students in their complaints against education providers.
I want, and I'm fighting for these students' rights. If these students pass and they don't meet trade recognition, they may not be able to achieve what it was their right to achieve, which is a qualification at the end.
These students are quite upfront in their desire to get permanent residency. But some of them argue they've also paid for an international standard education, at double the fees charged to domestic students. Gurmel Singh says he was shocked when he first attended a Brisbane college teaching hospitality management.
They don't have enough of lab computer. They don't provide us book, resource material. The kitchen was not built up. There was no drinking water in the kitchen, and that's mid of summer, and there was no drinking water at all.
In a letter from its lawyer, the college denies all these claims and presented the 730 report with a petition from more than 80 students who said they were very happy with the facilities. But Gurmal Singh says many of his colleagues value permanent residency above education.
I was not at all satisfied with the services, with the standard of education. It doesn't bother me if they just want PR. That's fine. I don't have any issues because I also want the PR. If they would just want PR, that's fine. It's their choice. But my choice is getting education in the meanwhile. Where is my dream of getting education? Nowhere.
Minister, welcome to Sydney, welcome to Australia.
Thank you.
India's External Affairs Minister K.M. Krishna visited state and federal leaders last week to discuss the welfare of Indian students and the regulation of Australia's international colleges.
They should look into their regulatory apparatus or mechanism which they have in supervising over these institutions, so that the credibility of educational sector in Australia is kept intact,
Obviously, his voice is one voice that said that there is a problem here, and I acknowledge that problem. That's why we're acting.
The federal government has set up a review of international education and will be holding a round table with colleges and students next month.
I think we have to remind ourselves most people who provide education to international students do a great job, but there are some shonky operators. We've got to crack down on them, and we've got to make sure that we're supporting international students in this country.
I think what we need is effective and efficient implementation of our regulatory system. We believe that a national regulator, a single national regulator, could help us do that. We also welcome the review because what we believe is that there are some areas that our sound framework could be tightened up in.
There are now 150,000 international students studying at private colleges across Australia. The challenge for regulators is to ensure colleges don't destroy the very thing that attracts young people from around the world, the reputation of Australia's education system.
This is not like education. They want money every time. Money, money, nothing else.
Peter McCutcheon with that report.